happiness for Lee Wiggins, Mark Stansfield, whose disappointment entered in the gravel early in qualifying yesterday morning, but he's recovered well to take second place, and Stuart Calder been going well throughout the weekend. Number 82 takes third, and all three of them should be available for Adam to have a word with. Very shortly, as we prepare for our second Legends race of the day.
So just making my way down in pit lane. The temperature is kind of, it's changed quite a bit there. But Lee Wiggins is our eventual winner. And a brilliant, brilliant win from him. And he just managed to get ahead of the number 19 there of Mark Stansfield over the line. I thought it would be almost a dead heat, but Lee Wiggins with a really, really good defensive move in that one. And as he does his helmet, we'll have a very quick chat as he pulls off his balaclava. Lee, brilliant race from you. I can see the smile is so evident. Tell me how it was out there.
It was really good fun. Yeah, great fun. A little bit of rain at the end, so it was wet at that end, but dry up this end. So just had to take it a little bit easier. I had to wait for Mark for 10 minutes to catch up, and then we had a good play there.
And tell me what as you said, the conditions were quite changeable. You know, it was as you said, wet at the top end, but dry at the more the southern end. Tell me what it was like trying to adapt to those changeable conditions.
So turn one was a little bit slippery, and it was a bit slippery down the craners, but not as slippery as I thought. So Mark came back past me down the old hairpin, and I thought, you're not going to do that again. You're not going to do that again. So no, all in all, really great race. Thanks to my team and Flash, my mechanic, for setting me up a brilliant car, and obviously it's better than Stansfield's one.
Would you say you have to be in that lead battle in order to win it? Because that was the second group, 4 minutes, it was coming at you quick.
Yeah, well, the plan was I was waving Mark through so we would get away a little bit, but he didn't want to play. So so they all started catching up, so we had a 20-minute battle, which I wouldn't have it any other way, so I'm not going to wave him through later on.
Absolutely, and I'm sure we'll go over to Mark Stansfield, who is looking a tad dejected, but it's always been brilliant fun. And I'll just come over to you here. Mark, that was a solid race from you. You came up from quite low end from the grid. Just tell me what it was like trying to move through the grid in one of these caterhams.
Yeah, started 12th after a disaster in qualifying yesterday. Front suspension broke on the first flying lap, so I was low down on the grid. But I know this place pretty well, so I thought, got to pull my finger out, get on with it. And when I could see Lee and the leaders, and then all of a sudden I started being in the front and leading him around. He tells you that he was trying to work together, but Lee Wiggins never works with anybody, so he's just full of it. But great race, real fantastic, smile on my face, and we'll see what we can do in the next one.
Do you think you can be able to challenge Mr. Lee Wiggins, beat him hopefully?
Well, it's reverse grid in the next race, so we should be on the back row, or 9th and 10th, so we'll give it a go, keep it clean, and see what we can do.
Is there a possibility to try and replicate that kind of move through the field? Because you got up from, was it quite low down, up to around about 4th place, super quickly. Is that replicatable?
I hope so, yeah, but you never know. You can predict and plan all you want until you're actually out there, and you can't tell what anyone else is going to do. So we'll give it our best shot, and we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Mark Stansfield, placing himself in 2nd place there, just trying to get away from the legends. Getting away there. I think Stuart Calder is also at the back there, but I think our legends are about to head out onto the circuit, so we don't want to interrupt the air stream, but I'm sure well done to Stuart Calder. But we'll move on now to our legends.
Thanks, Adam. So on pole position, the cars already on their parade lap, their green flag lap. Matt Knight, number 22, and Steve Whiteley, number 94. So it's 22 and 94 on the front row. On the second row, we've got number 17, Ben Marnie, and number 3, Paul Marcel. 17 and 3, row 2. Row 3 is number 28, Harry Marcel, and number 19, Connor Mills. 28 and 19, row 3. Row 4, number 25, Luke Simmons, and number 62, Eric Bolton. 25 and 62, row 7. Row 8 is 85, Mark Beattie, and 9, Ollie Schlupp. 85 and 9, row 9. Row 5, Row 6 is number 68, Nick Bridgman, and number 4, Jack Parker. 68 and 4, row 11. Row 6, Row 7 is 6, Tyler Reid, and 99, Scott Jackson. 6 and 99, row 7. Row 8, number 30, Andy Bird, and number 1, Will Gibson. 30 and 1, row 8. Row 9, 321, on the inside, 88, Peter Barrable, and outside him, number 321, Dylan Woodcock. 88 and 321, row 9. Row 10, number 44, Jamie Moylan, and number 13, Chris Needham. 44 and 13, row 10. And coming up to the start now, so others to watch for near the back. Robert Barrable, who won the earlier race today, Daniel Pooley, who went well from pole position, and also the other Irish drivers, Peter Barrable, who finished third earlier on, and Moylan, Jamie Moylan, who finished in second place. So it was a bit of an Irish benefit, that bit of pushing and shoving to certain drivers' lack of benefit. But some of them were able to drive out of the gravel, number 28 being one of those doing so. So 28 has recovered, but obviously dropped down the order quite a long way. And that is Harry Marcel, who's having first weekend of race. He's certainly not done very much racing. His dad was up here yesterday. His dad is now out in this race. Paul and his lad are both there, Paul Marcel and his son. So what's the had a picture briefly of a car in the gravel, but then it's come away from us, so we can't say who it was. We can see on the CCTV anybody in the gravel, but hopefully they'll be able to drive out. Anyway, the grid based on the previous grid, but reversed totally. That previous grid based on a ballot rather than any qualifying times. So through the chicane, they come at the end of the opening lap, and rather like the Caterham 7s, slipstreaming is very much the order of the day. So in the lead is Steve Whiteleg, number 94. In second place, 22, Matt Knight. In third place, Ollie Schlupp, number 9. In fourth place, second in the early race, number 44, is Jamie Moylan. Behind Jamie Moylan, and we've got in the gravel now, that's 321, heave. Anyway, it's Dylan Woodcock. It needs a bit of a heave to get that car out of there. And in fifth place, number 68 is Nick Bridgman. In fifth place is Nick Bridgman. In sixth place is number 1. That is Will Gibson. Then the Barrable brothers came along in seventh and eighth place, 88 and 18. Do we have? Oh, we've got another car. We've got 321. We've got 62.
32. Daniel Pooley is out as well. So some absolute.
I'll give you chaos here.
Yeah, because it's nothing short of, and it's I think it's because of what the Caterham driver were talking about in the race before, which we just had, and it's that it's raining up at the it's spitting and damp circuit, slippery, more at the top end of the circuit. So your Craner curves, your old hairpin, your McLean, your Schwantz curve, but it's more towards the bottom end of the circuit. So your Coppice, your Robert Chicane, your Redbridge is where it's a little bit more drier. So mixed conditions. I don't know if the drivers really predicted that, because of course they were out early when it was completely dry. And they didn't really have any threat of rain in the air, but now the track conditions have completely changed. They've been sitting on the grid for the last 15 odd minutes, so they had no idea what was happening at any part of the circuit apart from that part of that Grand Prix loop.
Saw 321 being dragged away, looking rather like a recalcitrant puppy on the end of a lead. It wouldn't go with its, but it's being dragged out of the way. There's still one other car that needs to be taken away. I think it's a bit damaged. We don't have any, it's numbers of laps this race. Well, it started out as a number of laps, 8 laps with the final over 10, but we don't have any laps added on, like in, say, the British Touring Car Championship, where you get up to an extra 3 laps added on if there's a safety car situation, which we are, of course, now in. And so what began as an 8-lap race, I don't think is going to end up with a full 8 racing. Well, in fact, it isn't a full racing 8 laps, because we've already had 1 safety car lap, and there's still a bit of delay in getting that one sorted out that's stopped on the edge of the circuit. Get the impression that something in the car is jammed and it's not movable by brute force.
It does seem
stuck
to
in
be,
gear or something.
It does seem to be that way, because the complete right-hand side is completely exposed.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's if you're on the right path of anything jammed, or maybe even if could it be a flat tire potentially, because that tire doesn't look very. It seems to be a bit of a struggle to get out.
It's Daniel Poulis' car, incidentally, number 32, that is there. There could be a wheel that's jammed. But they were initially trying to release something in the cockpit. Anyway, hasten to add, the driver's okay. The driver's out of the car, and just a question of how do you move his car. You think these are little, well, they are relatively light compared with a normal racing car, but they're still quite heavy, and we don't want marshals hurting themselves by doing their backs in by lifting something too heavy.
There you go. That's a clearer picture, and that's what we've been talking about on the cameras a couple of moments
Red
ago.
flag.
Ah, there we go, red flag. So the idea in that one is that they can't seem to remove that 32. If you have a little bit of a look there on the rear right, it just looks like it is punctured. It's completely down. They can't get it moved on the grass, because that grass is not easy to get it out of.
Well, good to see the recovery vehicle on the scene immediately, and it's going to be a suspended recovery, but it would be taking place, that's why they've red flagged the race. It would have been taking place with right at the edge of the track, and so the red flag was put out whilst the cars were on their 3rd lap, second behind the safety car. And I think we'll find they'll restart the race or unsuspend it once this car's been moved out of the way. So I did the grid in a bit of a rush before, just to, whilst we've got the time, run through it again. On pole position, we had 22 Matt Knight, and alongside the front row with him, on the front row with him, was Steve Whiteleg, number 94. On the second row, 17 Ben Marnie and 3 Paul Marcel. 17 and 3, row 2. Row 3, 28 Harry Marcel, Paul's son, and Connor Mills, 28 and 19. Connor Mills a winner yesterday. On the 4th row, 25 Luke Simmons and 62 Eric Bolton. 25 and 62, row 4. Row 5, 85 Mark Beattie and 9 Ollie Schlupp. This, I hasten to add, is the grid I'm just going through, not the restart grid. On the 6th row, 68 Nick Bridgman and 4 Jack Parker. On the 7th row, 6 Tyler Reed and 99 Scott Jackson. On the 8th row, 30 Andy Bird and 1 Will Gibson, 30 and 1. On the 9th row, 88 Peter Barrable and 321 Dylan Woodcock, 88 and 321 the 9th row. The 10th row, 44 Jamie Moylan and 13 Chris Needham, 44 and 13 row 10, row 11, 29 Nathan Anthony and 122 Chris Dewey, 29 and 122 row 11, row 12, number 2 James Newbury and 18 Robert Barrable, winner of the earlier race today, 2 and 18. On the 13th row, 34 Nick Price and 32 Daniel Pooley. Well, we won't be seeing him again on the restart, will we? But he was there at the start of the race originally on the 13th row, having been on pole position for that race. 34 and 32, and at the back, number 8 Graham Butler. Now the cars lining up with 32 on the back of a flatbed being taken away. The cars lining up for the restart and shown as 8 laps. This is shown as going to be still the full 8 laps. That's what the TSL screen says. Now, the order in which they've lined up one behind the other, I think, is the running order, but I'm afraid I haven't got a note of that. It's been taken off the screen. Well, I think we're ready to roll, are we not? Let's get all the last few cars slotted in. Got a chance to look out of the window and see the van, the sedan, which is the one distinctive shape amongst all the other Ford coupes, based on the 1934 Ford coupe, but obviously downsized. Ready to go. And it may well be that this first lap behind the safety car will count as one of the laps of the race. So Marshall's still busy down at the old hairpin where the incident occurred, down at the old hairpin, brushing grit and gravel and stuff off the surface. So I think they've done that now, so we should be ready to go. Yeah, off we go. Let them roll and be taken around the track. Just to stress, this is numbers of laps, 8 laps. That's not changed. safety car start, this is I suppose what you call it, rather than a rolling start where for the first time around they were side by side in a normal rolling start. This is, yes, they're moving, but they're running one behind the other. And so they really carry on where they left off in terms of the order they're in. Headed by number 94, Steve Whiteleg, who actually was on the outside of the front row but was leading when the red flag was put out. Cars making their way onto Exhibition Centre straight out of Coppice down to the chicane. Donington Park, very much the national circuit, how Donington Park was when it was reopened back in 1977 by Tom Wheatcroft, and then when he allowed other people to interfere with the circuit, things deteriorated rather, and when it was rebuilt, the chicane location was changed slightly, still approximately the same place, but it left the longer run down to Redgate. So there we go then, the pace car pulls off and the field heads down towards Redgate, and that was not counted as a lap, so 8 laps to go, and think on the outside line there, Steve Whiteleg maintaining his early pace as they turn through Redgate into Hollywood and down through the impressive Craner curves. Adam.
Very much impressive Craner curves. You're right there. Jamie Moylan also having a look there in the number 44. He's really looking to go on the aggressive in these early stages. And I wonder how that will just pan out later on into the race, because of course there's many different ways you can go about these kind of races. But again, we have a look through our pictures, and more Bassing all the way through to the right hand, through the right hand corner. It's 22 there on Matt Knight still leading the way, and Ollie Schlupp there up into P2. So the number 9 making his way from 10th all the way up to second place from that red flag. So he managed to avoid a lot of the chaos in the early stages and has managed to smoothen his way, slide his way up into those top 2 positions. And he'll have a go at the lead, I'm sure, no doubt.
And of course, somebody else who's made a great progress in the early stages is Robert Barrable, winner earlier in car number 18. He's in 10th place, which is impressive stuff considering that he was back on the 12th row of the grid. Through they come then at the end of the first racing lap, and in the lead is Ollie Schlupp. In second place is number 22 Matt Knight from pole position. In third place is 44, and that is, as Adam was saying, that's great progress by Jamie Moylan to be there third. In fourth place, Nick Bridgman, number 68. In fifth place, also from the front row, number 94, Steve Whiteleg.
I'm just thinking to myself, how do they do this? How do they make it up so quickly? Ollie Schlupp there looking to... I think we have a spinner there in the background. We'll gloss over that for now, unless that becomes a major problem. But there is Peter Barrable, and it's again the number 2 there of... it's the number 2, James Newbury, unfortunately having more difficulties in that car. Still side by side there, and I think that's the 4 of Jack Parker. Jack Parker there making his way on through. So they're just having to continue their way through Coppice Corner, and it's all about just that pre-planning. But of course, that can very, very easily go out the window. And down at the Hollywood corners there is a car that is unfortunately pulled off. We'll get cameras on that once we make sure that is okay.
So they come through to complete their second racing lap, and the lead still held by Ollie Schlupp. Up into second place, Jamie Moylan, now number 44, second earlier on today. In third place, we've got 22, Matt Knight. In fourth place is number 1, Will Gibson. Behind Will Gibson in fifth place, number 4, is Jack Parker, one to keep an eye on. And then the Barrable boys are there in 6th and 7th places, with at the moment Peter ahead of Robert. And then behind those two, in 8th place, we've got number 30, Andy Bird. In 9th place is 68, Nick Bridgman. In 10th place is 94, Steve Whiteleg.
Yeah, very much so. Connor Mills currently with the fastest lap, 1 minute 20.990. So he's the only driver at this moment in time to be able to break into those 1 minute 9s. I think a bit of a slide there from Ollie Schlupp battling with the Irishman of Jamie Moylan. Moylan, I think, gave him a little bit of a nudge there, a little bit of a love tap from the rear end, but it's still Ollie Schlupp in the lead of this race. I think Matt Knight is also trying to build on this. Sorry, that's Will Gibson. Will Gibson also making up the grid places here, and he's also looking to maybe make an appearance into this lead battle. But you're just seeing there into your pictures, and there goes Jamie Moylan. Moylan making his way through. Will Gibson also making his way through in the number 1. So how will Ollie Schlupp, a fast driver or up-and-coming driver, be able to retaliate here? Because he has got Jack Parker first of all to try and fend off before he being able to look forward. But Parker is looking very much on the aggressive, and it looks like Schlupp is going to slide up the inside of both of them. Double overtake there for Ollie Schlupp. He set it up very, very well, turning defense into attack there, and Schlupp once again leads this race. But how will he defend there with Jack Parker falling down the cream of curves and barreling towards the old hairpin corner? And it looks like Schlupp has a good defense on him, but again they're now backing each other in toward that rear group. You've seen there the 88 of Peter Barrable, both Barrables in fact heading their way up the hill.
Yeah, the Barrables well worth keeping an eye on. Cars numbers 88, that's Peter, and number 18, that's Robert. The way they went this morning was very impressive. Robert Barrable has quite a strong record in all kinds of motorsport. So Robert Barrable in 7th place at the start of this lap, but all the shuffling, they've all got themselves to all the fastest cars. I think the top 10 are just about in that leading train of cars that's turning out of Coppice onto the straight towards Roberts chicane. Leading Jamie Moylan led Will Gibson onto this 4th lap, and the fastest lap was set by Will Gibson last time around at 1:20.763. So down through the chicane they come and over the line, and it is at the completion of the 4th lap, Jamie Moylan leading Ollie Schlupp in 2nd place. In 3rd place is Will Gibson. In 4th place is Jack Parker. In 5th place is Peter Barrable. In 6th place is 22 Matt Knight. And in 7th place is Robert Barrable. Andy Bird, number 30, is 8th. In 9th place is 68. 68 is Nick Bridgman. And in 10th place is 94 Steve Whiteleg.
Absolutely, and again, that Jamie Moylan is continuing to back each other up, and I wonder if that will give an advantage to both Barrables, because of course they started Heat 1 super well. It was an all-Irish top 3, which is something incredible, one of those incredible sights, to be honest. But yeah, they want to be up there in those high positions to be able to get that brilliant grid spots for the eventual finale, the final, of course, that we hope to be getting. But again, just making sure that they're doing the work well. Of course, Moylan will do a little bit of backing up, and I think Moylan will look to be on that pole position spot at this moment in time. But all can change, because Ollie Schlupp is looking quite tentatively in P4 there. But of course, Gibson and Parker will have their say in this.
Right, Connor Mills, incidentally, winner of the first race yesterday. He's just last time around did the fastest lap, not the one they're just finishing, but the lap before. Connor Mills, but he's only in 11th place. But I think there's probably more to come from that. No, having said that, he's lost a place on that lap, despite having set the fastest lap the lap before, 1:20.371. So Jamie Moylan leads. Will Gibson is 2nd. In 3rd place is Jack Parker, one to watch. Ollie Schlupp, number 9, in 4th place. Robert Barrable up now to 5th, number 18, moving in. 6th is number 22, Matt Knight. Behind Matt Knight, Peter Barrable is 8th. In 7th place, number 88. Andy Bird, number 30, is 8th. 9th is Nick Bridgman, and 10th now. I think the 10th place has come, gaining a couple of places on that lap. Number 6, Tyler Reid. And behind Tyler Reid, also gaining a place, number 25, Luke Simmons, who you'd expect to find further up the order, but at the moment he is in only 11th place.
Yeah, I think Luke Simmons has had a bit of a difficult weekend. He's really had his struggles to try and power through. But speaking of power, you can really see that that's the number 9 of Ollie Schlupp trying to just gain onto the back of this trio of cars. Who's going to now try and go for a move here? Because it looks like Moylan still leads. Gibson is now still in second here. Lap's car will have to get out of the way pretty quickly, and indeed it does pretty quickly, out onto the gravel, onto the grass there with the number 4 of Jack Parker, and Parker's been given a little bit of a bump there by Ollie Schlupp. Will that affect Schlupp's progress? I think it was just a little bit of a hurry up there, lock up there from Jamie Moylan as well. Moylan wanted to make that manoeuvre back there. He did a 121.02 last time around, his personal best, but will that lock up affect him? A little bit of a wiggle, and again more disaster for the Gigabox car. That's again Harry Musel.
Yeah, Harry Musel then, I'm afraid, having a problem of some sort, maybe mechanical causing to pull off, or maybe it was going off. Incidentally, the gap between Will Gibson and Jamie Moylan over the line at the start of this lap was just 16 thousandths of a second. There's number 99 that's pulled off. That's Scott Jackson. He's a bit on the edge of the circuit by the looks of things, but hopefully the race will continue to the end, because we've only got 2 laps to go. The one they're on plus 1 more.
Yeah, he has stopped, in fact, just down on the inside of that final hairpin, not chicane, the hairpin on the Grand Prix loop. So that's going to be a little bit of a dangerous spot, especially, there you go, yellow flags going down into the rubber chicane. So one of the hot spots for overtaking, especially in these smaller cars, has now been nullified, as Gibson is currently in this lead of the race. But how will the other cars go? Oh, that's I believe that's a Robert Barrable there, and a stopped car. In fact, that's Peter Barrable. Barrable has been maybe tagged at the Robert chicane. I'm not sure if many drivers got the memo in that one, but that was a little bit of kept onto the last lap they go. So
as Adam says, the chicane is neutralised as far as overtaking is concerned, but there is a green flag just on the exit of the chicane, so you can make a dash for the line perhaps. But as it is, Gibson, Moylan, Parker, Schlupp, Bird, Knight, Robert Barrable, who's lost a few places, Bridgman 8th, Reed is 9th, and 10th is Mills. But that was no doubt shut because they've all bunched up. But of course they can't overtake. I think that yellow flag is going to be, yellow light's going to be there to the end of the race. We're on the last lap, and it's number 1 that has the lead at the moment, Will Gibson.
So if you're going to make that move, you've now got to make it in towards Coppice or get it on the exit of this corner they're heading into now. It is still Gibson locking up there, smoke being flung from these cars, and they continue to wind their way through. A gravel trap off there at the 68 there of Bridgman, so he's gone all sorts of wrong there, and that is where Harry Musel's car was. But in towards the right hand, there we go. Moylan has second place, but it is going to be Will Gibson to head over that chicane there, a little bit more sliding away from the slippery surface, but it looks like it's going to be Will Gibson to take the flag here. There's going to be a run to second place, and it's going to be almost a dead heat, and it looks like it's going to be Jamie Moylan by 34 thousandths of a second ahead of Jack Parker. Some superb batting in that one. Ollie Schlupp coming home in P4, but that's more pots and points for Gibson, Moylan and Parker.
Yeah, Moylan and Parker, that's 34 thousandths of a second for second place. The winner, Will Gibson, by over half a second, 0.662 of a second. So number 1 takes first place, Will Gibson. In second place, number 44, Jamie Moylan, so his second place of the day. In third place, number 4, Jack Parker. In fourth place, number 9, Ollie Schlupp. In fifth place, number 30, Andy Bird. In sixth place, number 18, Robert Barrable. In seventh place, number 22, Matt Knight. In eighth place, number 6, Tyler Reed. In ninth place, number 19, Connor Mills. In 10th place, number 25, Luke Simmons. 11th, fading towards the end, number 88, Peter Barrable. In 12th, number 68, Nick Bridgman. In 13th place, number 94, Steve Whiteleg. In 14th place, number 29, Nathan Anthony. In 15th place, number 34, Nick Price. 16th, number 3, Paul Marcel. 17th, number 17, Ben Marnie. 18th, number 122, Chris Dewey. 19th, number 8, Graham Butler. 20th, number 2, James Newbury. And 21st, number 85, Mark Beattie. The ones we lost en route, Harry Marcel, number 28. 99, Scott Jackson. And 62, Eric Bolton. And of course we haven't finished with the legends because their final, they didn't get one yesterday, but today their final will be coming up as the last race before the lunch break, which will be followed of course by the 5R Ford car or KA race. So next race is the second helping of Caterhams of the day, with the 310R and the 270 going first, followed by the 420Rs, and then after them will come the Legends final over 10 laps. So over to Adam.
And I am down in pit lane once again, and Jamie Moylan once again having an absolute stonker of a race, but it was Will Gibson the winner. But that unfortunate breakdown means that he won't be able to talk to us. So once again, avoids the microphone. And there is Jamie Moylan. I think he's going to have a chat first. Jamie, talk to us about that battle. Once again, it is second place, but it is possibly the pole position for the finale.
Yeah, really great race again. Once again, it was brilliant racing between all the boys. We kept it somewhat clean. There's a lot of oil in the last 2 laps there. We made it a bit messy going into most of the corners, but no crashes, so happy with that.
Were you trying to bring up? I saw both of your teammates were making up time, both the Barrables. Were you trying to also help them by getting in front and backing up everyone else, or was it just trying to get in front for your own race?
I wouldn't say that now. I was trying to, like, these boys are quick. You can't really get away. You can't really back up. You're racing hard. You're too wide most straight. So I was surprised they didn't get up as quick now. But so look, it is what it is.
And of course, that final race is going to be upon us. Are you looking to just try and grab maximum points, or just try and come away from it cleanly?
Now I'll be near the back of the grid now, since we do reverse points. So the better you do, the further you'll go back. So yeah, hopefully have the same again near the back. That race just gone, so hopefully repeat that again.
Thank you very much, Jamie. I'll let you get on with your with everything you need to do. Brilliant racing, of course, as Jack Parker was saying. But Jack, here once again in front of the microphone. But yeah, some of that crazy race from your perspective.
Oh yeah, it just never amazes me how boring the Legends can be. Really, you know, it's so full of excitement. Yeah, it's just can't describe the feeling of being in the car and battling with all these competitive people. You got the likes of Jamie here coming all the way from Ireland to come and race us, and what a outstanding drive that he's done to come right from the back to where he's come. Yeah, fantastic. Regarding the last couple of laps, made it a bit tricky with the oil, but yeah, we come away with third in the end. So yeah, we're happy with that. We'll take the points and look forward to the final.
I do kind of want to ask more about how the Legends has slowly risen up in the last couple of years, and what's that been like for you, just being able to go from these tiny little club events to being in the package for the touring cars?
No, it's great. The spectators that you have, and when you come off circuit and you have the groups of people keep coming over saying what a fantastic race, never seen these Legends before, and they're looking forward more. So yeah, it's great. It gave the Legends such a good publicity, and yeah, we can't wait to do more really with them.
How big can this Legends Championship get? Because it's already grown since I first saw them back in when they first joined the touring car package.
Oh, I think the Legends can get bigger and bigger. It's just getting more knowledge to the people, getting drivers in the cars, because as soon as they get in the car, they just won't want to come out of it. With the action pack that you get out there, and the close racing and the competition, it just ticks every box for a racing driver.
Thank you so much. So, of course, the Legends are going to be one of those series that you really want to keep an eye out for. And, of course, if you do want to have a look at these Legends series, go ahead and check out the website and just search Legends Racing UK. And I'm sure they will be able to see where all of these guys are going. Of course, they'll be going up to Knockhill to be a part of that touring car package alongside the British Touring Car Championship, and just watch these guys have their awesome battles. It's honestly unbelievable, and it's such an eye catcher with a lot of these series. But it's time to wrap up here. We'll see that finale later on down the line. But next we have the Caterham, so tune over into that one if you want to stay on board, stay with the live streams here at Donington Park Circuit.
Thank you, Adam. So the cars waiting to be released onto the track for a rolling start for the second time today, the 310R and 270 Caterhams, and the grid will line up like this for the rolling start. On pole position, number 33, Mark Roberts, and on the outside, number 9, Caroline Everett. 33 and 9 is the front row. The second row, 36, Rob Good, and number 1, David Baldwin. 36 and 1 is row 2.